also evident in any experience or volunteer work. Volunteer work is a great thing to put on your resume. And oral and written communication. Written communication can be shown through how well your resume is written. Then oral is like if you worked on teams or if you wrote any like newsletters for clubs, stuff like that. Before we move on, any more questions?
Nobody has questions? Awesome, we're doing a good job. Go on. Okay, so before you get started, it can be really helpful to look at other people's resumes and kind of get a gauge for what people are doing and how to start. The Career Development Center has a beautiful career guide that helps you kind of get a sample of all different parts of the career process, and one of those is the resumes. They have tons of samples of resumes that you can look at, and that's available both at the Career Development Center, which is in 2100 Pullen Hall, and also on the Career Development Center website. There's an online version that you can look at. And again, just the more comfortable you feel looking at other people's resumes, the more comfortable you'll feel creating your own. And it's really important to make sure that it looks very professional, very clean, uniform throughout. So there's not any spelling errors or anything like that. That, again, shows that professionalism that employers are looking for. And you also want to make sure it's very attractive, so you want it to look nice, and avoid using those templates because the hiring managers and the HR managers that are going to look at your resumes are looking at resumes all the time. They're looking at hundreds of thousands of resumes, and they'll pick up on the fact that it's a template. They'll see it over and over again, and that just kind of shows a lack of effort, lack of interest and enthusiasm. So just take the time to create your own resume, and that'll definitely help you stand out. So you definitely want to try and make sure you're pinpointing the important parts and helping yourself stand out from the competitors. And the last thing is once you've created that resume, how are you going to save it? You should definitely save it with your first name underscore last name underscore resume. So for me it would be Juliana underscore Conklin underscore resume. And that helps the employers, makes it easier for them. If you're saving it as my resume or updated resume or something like that, it's just another step employers are going to have to do to rename it with your name in it. And it just adds another step for them. So they'd rather have you make sure it's nice and easy and they can tell exactly who it belongs to. And you want to make sure you save it as a PDF rather than a Word. And why would that be? If I save it as a Word and someone else opens it, I upload it to ePack or I email it to an employer and they open it with a different version of Word, it can adjust the template, it can adjust the settings, so it won't look quite the same, and that resume you worked so hard to perfect and the formatting might just be a little bit off. So saving it as a PDF ensures that it will look the same throughout, and it also ensures that they won't edit it. It can't be changed or edited, it's saved as that PDF.
And you need to create a structure in your resume. She mentioned the career guide, and in the career guide you will see so many good examples of a solid resume. And each and every resume of these resumes on the career guide is structured. So it starts with at the top with your contact information, your name, excuse me, your phone number, your email, your LinkedIn address, and all that. And then after that it comes down to an objective or a professional summary. Why are you applying to this job? What is your goal? Or why should we hire you? And you can answer that relevant to the position you're applying to. After that, you detail the experiences, the project that you did, and then it follows up with interest and skills that you have. Forward after me, we'll talk about what's the difference between objective and professional summary. The very first building block of your resume.
All right, so like you said, I'm going to talk about objective and personal summaries. So these can get kind of confusing, so let's break it down. So these are the introduction to your resume. They're found right underneath your name and all your contact information. And so the objective statement lets the employer know exactly what you want and maybe a little bit about yourself, while the summary is more just mainly about yourself. And when the employer looks at your summary, then reads your resume, then looks back at your summary, they can go, yeah, I agree with that. So let's see some examples. An objective statement is to obtain a human resources related position utilizing my strong interpersonal and organizational skills as well as my creativity. So you can see it's very concise, it's very to the point. They want a human resource related position and they have skills such as strong interpersonal skills, organizational skills, and creativity skills. While a summary, and by the way, a summary is more professional, more the correct term or correct section. This example is an energetic sophomore with experience in the care of animals in a clinical environment, proven responsible leader with a positive attitude who takes enthusiastic initiative on projects. So as you can see, that kind of implied what they were going for, which was a care of animals in clinical environments, and as opposed to an objective, they would say, I'm looking for specifically that, but this is kind of hinting at what they are, or what they're looking for. If you were applying for a different job, you probably wouldn't say that, you'd say something else. And then throughout your resume, or their resume, they will prove that they have leadership skills, positive attitude, and enthusiastic initiative. So are there any questions before we move on? Yes?
So that's kind of an expansion on like that one
Yeah, basically.
Absolutely, it could be like a snippet of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of reasons that the professional summary tends to be preferred is because obviously if you're applying for a position, if I'm applying for a marketing position, obviously my goal is to obtain a marketing position. So that can be kind of just removed and taken out, and instead you can use that space like we were saying earlier, like Musab was saying, to really gain that connection. So you can use that space to use interesting words to give yourself a personality. It's just a piece of paper, and you're just a piece of paper in a stack, but this can help you give that kind of personable side that helps you stand out and gives you a unique taste to it. So it's not just, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I have, with keywords including communication, leadership. Instead, you can talk about yourself and what you bring to the table, so it can help differentiate you from those competitors.
Are there any more questions before we move on?
And just to add on Ford and Jules, what they're saying is, well, basically, it breaks down to this obvious difference. In the objective summary, or the objective, you are telling what you are looking for. In the professional summary, on the other hand, you are telling why they should hire you. So I think it's evident, it's obvious which one is stronger, right? And you start in the professional summary, you start with the word here as an example. You start with energetic. You want to sound that strong, that fancy at the beginning, in the beginning of your resume.
So now we're going to do a little activity. You guys can work in groups, or you can do it yourself, either way. And you're just going to try and create that professional summary. It can be for a hero, it can be for an actor, an actress, a fictional character. Anyone you want, you'll just try and create something that describes them as a professional summary, so you can get a little sample of what it's like to create a professional summary. And we'll give you all a few minutes to do that, and then Ford will play this noise, and that's how we'll know. We're going to rein it back in, and we'll discuss, and we can give examples. You guys can raise your hands, and we'll see what you all came up with. So go ahead and work on that as a team.
Oh, funny seeing you here.
Musab has not slept in days, but he's still moving. Delicious water.
Hey, how's it going? What's going on? My name's Ford. Nice to meet you, Nathan. So who are you thinking for this summer? Well, definitely come back to 4 more minutes. See you in 2. Hey, nice to meet you.
You watch Superman movies?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Supposed to be working in juvenile Frankie
Go
Man
with Iron Man.
classic.
Iron Man? Okay. Some words we can use to describe Iron Man. Okay. How about Superman?
Great start. It's definitely awesome.
What about like the time? Good for you. I'll tell you like you're probably loyal, like